Hi Fanny, hi Sam. Thanks very much for connecting on here with us. I'd just like to talk through your experience of Sam's and JCA and hopefully the great benefits that we brought to you and helping you and opening up Sam's. But first off, Sam, you're probably best placed to do this. Can you just tell me what your vision of Sam's is and what Sam's is all about in Hammersmith?
Sure, Julian. Sam's was my third restaurant, and when I first saw that site, when Fanny and I first saw it back in July 2017, we were just taken immediately by its kind of uniqueness and the potential to create something that could be a local restaurant and destinational because of its stunning views and being situated right on the river. We felt that West London lacked what we always called a sort of wow restaurants where you walk in and you're just slightly blown away by the design, the visual look, the appearance. So that we wanted to sort of do a grown-up version of what we'd done in the restaurants before, and we definitely wanted to create something that work as a locals restaurant, but also have that special destinational value.
Okay, that's good. And just for anyone that doesn't know, you're the river, right on the river at Hammersmith, just by Hammersmith Bridge. You opened up in October, November last year. And
November the 4th was our official date. We're right on the restaurant is right on the towpath next to Hammersmith Bridge. We're part of this incredible redevelopment, Riverside Studios. Riverside Studios goes back to the 50s. It's this amazing building in West London, heritage of television, film. Many big names have performed there over the years. So again, what was appealing for us is it's not only a locals restaurant, not only are people coming to visit it because it's by the river, but the number of people coming through that building to see shows, and also the sort of people going through the building, celebrities, TV stars, theatre stars, music people. So again, it had to have this sort of wow, this slightly sort of razzmatazz, if you like.
okay, and so sort of moving on in the journey of the project and everything else. When you first appointed JCA, Julian Church and Associates, what was your sort of main deciding point in making an appointment with us? And what did you expect the role of JCA to do? I'll take that either way. Fanny, would you like to have a go?
Yeah, JCA were recommended to us by our designers, Design LSM. You came highly recommended. It was a big project and lots of different parts to that project. So we're not, as Sam explained, a restaurant in isolation. We're part of a much bigger development, and we're a big site. And JCA held our hands through finding appropriate contractors. Very quickly, JCA were in tune with the quality we wanted to establish and the look we wanted to convey, and held our hand through that process of finding a contractor. And our biggest hurdle was to get everything we wanted, the right quality, the right look, the right people on board to achieve that within the budget that we had. And that was a big part of us taking on JCA.
Okay, so would you describe that sort of cost consultancy and that modelling and that sort of side of things as our sort of main purpose that we provide to you, or is there other aspects to what we do from your perspective?
Well, that was probably the starting position of what we wanted to get from JCA. That then developed into so much more. You helped us recruit our contractors. You helped us with negotiation with the landlords to integrate the restaurant with the needs of the landlords and their contractors. And as the project as a whole, and you know, you were always on the phone, on the other end of the phone, or with regular meetings, and you brought a great structure to the project as a whole.
Thank you, thank you. Was there anything that in that sort of service provision that really sort of surprised you then, that greatly exceeded the sort of what you was expecting, gave you a much bigger benefit than what you was expecting to get?
It was definitely the human contact that with you that really exceeded our expectations. You know, it wasn't just a QS and a project manager, it was someone we could call up to talk about any part of the project, which was really useful.
I'd just say on that, I think it's just knowledge and experience as well. You know, we'd opened restaurants before, but nothing on this scale. You know, we've got a lot of we've got investment behind us, private investors who we were having to report to on every penny that we were spending, and so to be able to have you as our sort of support there, your experience, your guidance. You know, you've done many projects like this. We've learned from this project, but we definitely needed your advice and support going through this.
No. And I thank you for the kind words. It's very, very much appreciated. Like you're both very good at spreadsheets and day-to-day management and that sort of thing. Why, for the benefit of people out there that think, do I really need a quantity surveyor or do I really need a project manager? Why would you say I would go out and actually sort of buy that skills in when you've got that sort of skill set yourself?
Well, the bottom line is as much as the beginning of a project starts in the form of a spreadsheet, spreadsheets don't always cover all the information you need. So you're building expertise, you're, like Sam was saying, your years of knowledge, pulling all that together into one fixed way forward that appeared on the spreadsheet, but you know, pulling all those contractors together is far beyond what we do as restaurateurs.
And also, I think on a project of this scale, you know, in a market that's never been so competitive, you got to know where your skills are. You know, Fanny and I can open restaurants. Yeah, I mean, Fanny's very good with numbers and spreadsheets, much better than me. But there's enough as restaurateurs to be concerned about with the opening of a restaurant. You need somebody to bring the whole building side of the project together. I think we probably could have done it on our own, and lots of people do. Would we have had such a successful opening overall? I'm not sure. I think it allowed us to focus more time on the other parts of the business, more of the creative side, because we always knew you were covering our back on the build side. Thank you
again. That's great. So I really appreciate your kind words and everything else that have come through there. And I like to think that what we provide is an empathy. I think we buy into your journey and try to understand what you're going through at that sort of stage. And hopefully that did happen. You saw that protection and that skill set hopefully coming across to your benefit in what you've got there. Like, you mentioned, Sam, that this is your third restaurant. I know that we worked actually with you, it's got to be 15, 16 years ago when we first did Chiswick. We worked in a much smaller guys at that time, but you've obviously used other consultants in a similar sort of process. You've used, not necessarily just for quantity surveying, for project management, but what would you describe as our sort of asset that helped you overall, that made this hopefully a pleasant and enjoyable sort of process?
I think Fanny touched on it. It's sort of bringing the whole team together and getting the best out of many different people. So, you know, those weekly site meetings were absolutely vital to us. I mean, for us to get the project brought in on budget and on time, but for Fanny and I to feel that we were on track and vaguely in control. But you bought, I mean, I think at one meeting there were 18, 19 people in that meeting, different contractors, designers, landlords, architects.
It can be chaos.
Yeah, it was definitely good chaos. And I think having you to bring all of that together and conduct those meetings, and I mean this as a compliment, Julian. When I say we sometimes think of you as our bulldog. There's
I might look like one sometimes.
but there's a lot of chasing up, following up, hounding people, and I think we all did that as a team. But yeah, I mean this was a much bigger project than the last restaurants Fanny and I have been involved in. So there was many more things to juggle.
Okay, that's good. And looking forward, as in terms of our skill set and what we can bring forward, would you recommend us to a large project, a small project, a rollout project, or a one-off project, or maybe all of them? Do you think there's different benefits that we could bring to different clients out there from your experience of what you've seen on Sam's?
I think definitely. I think it's probably going to be harder than ever to raise money. With everything that's going on at the moment. Having said that, there are going to be opportunities. There are going to be sites coming available, but everybody is going to have to justify it more than ever. Every penny that they spend, everyone's going to have to be able to negotiate hard with contractors, with landlords. So I would have thought you could. And again, Fanny touched on, one of the reasons we like working with you is because you got that it's Fanny and I. There is no one else. We're not a big company. We've got our own money on the line here. We've got our investors' money on the line. We're accountable for that, and we really felt that you felt accountable for that as well. So.
You felt that emotional sort of connection with your requirements, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't always necessarily come across in every project, but if you can see that emotional connection, I think we try and sort of service that project through that emotional connection and go down that journey with you. And we've been there before, so it's helping you sort of hand-holding in a metaphorical sort of sense.
Definitely.
Good. And with that sort of understanding of customer need was demonstrated and actually seen and came through, which hopefully helps you engage at the very end. Just in terms of your ideas of a great restaurant, Sam, I don't want to paraphrase you, but I've read or seen things saying, a great restaurant's all about great food, a cold beer, and a smile. Hopefully you saw the reticent sort of the flip side of the construction industry through great service. Not always a smile, but cold focus.
Listen, Fanny and I love the way that Sam's Riverside looks. We love, both of us are operators. We're probably at our happiest when we're on the floor, serving customers, making them happy. And that's, right now, that's what's got us most frustrated. But your hard work and your diligence and managing that team of contractors delivered a restaurant space that allows us to be at the best top of our game. In restaurants is pretty simple. As you said, it's warm food, cold beer, and a smile. I guess project management is pretty simple, but somebody's got to deliver it. It doesn't have to be complicated, does it? But someone's got to deliver a service.
It's got to look simple. It's got to look simple, and then we know we're doing our job. So
yeah.